This video is going to be my full review of the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. I've been using this thing for quite a while, and the reason I got this camera is I was not happy with the low light performance of my GoPro, and I was also not happy with the DJI in the fact that I either had to choose the highest stabilization or a wide field of view. If I went to the really high stabilization, it cropped in way too much. And I did not want to get a lens that opened up the view because I like switching back and forth between linear and also action mode for riding my mountain bike. So this is a mountain bike and gravel channel, so I'm going to focus this video more towards cycling. However, I do feel like this video is going to be very comprehensive in case you're interested in this camera. And I'm going to say some things on this video that I have not seen in any other video. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that I want to do is just take a minute to show the settings on this camera. This is not going to be a tutorial video. It would be 45 minutes long if I went into detail of every setting, but I'm going to show you the ones that were most important to me as a mountain biker and vlogger. So if you drag down from the top, this is where you can go to various settings like quick capture. You can go to screen orientation lock. So if I want to lock it in that rotation, I can do that. I really like the underwater mode. So if I enable that, I have to slide a bar if I want to make any changes, because what will happen is if you take it underwater, the water can activate the screen and change settings, and you don't want that to happen. A couple other things I'll show you here is this is how you go to your microphone settings. So I can do wind reduction, voice enhancement, stereo. I leave it on wind reduction. Actually, I'll talk about that coming up in a minute because the wind reduction on this is really good. You can pair it to a remote, and then you can pair it to earphones in case you want to have an external microphone that's Bluetooth. And then if you want to go to other settings, you can tap there. This is how you would reset the SD card. So you could tap here and go to format. I'm going to go back out to the screen. This is how you change your resolution. You can either tap here or you can slide up from the bottom. 8K, 4K, 2.7K, 1080p. You can change your frame rate, active HDR, stabilization. Then if you want to change it from photo to video to other, you can tap on the little camera icon there and just slide over. So there's photo. I really like pure video. This is kind of like their night mode, and it works really well. I'll talk about that coming up in a minute. And then this is how you can change your view. So I typically will leave it on action for mountain biking, and if I'm doing like a vlog, I'll leave it on linear. And then you can drag over from here to get to other settings like your filters. So I leave it on vivid most of the time. White balance. You can go to a log format. They call it iLog. Face priority. So you can tell it you want a face priority in case you're in front of the camera for focusing and metering. And then this is how you would change your sharpness. I typically leave it on medium. And then you can also go to manual settings. So manual aperture, manual ISO. I typically leave it on auto because this camera is really good in the auto settings. So the two main applications that I use this for, as I alluded to a minute ago, is for mountain biking, gravel, and also for vlogging. And I will say, of all the action cameras that I've used, this is hands down the best camera for vlogs. Even if you're not using this for action sports and you want to just get family videos or, vlogs like this, because of two things. One is the audio quality. This built-in microphone has a windscreen. And so what I can do is I can actually take this off. And if you use this underwater, you really should take that off. But inside here is a little bit of foam. You can see that in the video. And that allows you to use this camera without any kind of windscreen. So in the past, I've used these kind of foam windscreens. They work great, but I just simply didn't need it for this camera. Now these, even though they work great for audio, they're also a pain to use because sometimes it's hard to get to the buttons and they kind of rotate. It's hard, even to get to the record button can be hard. So the fact that I don't need that for this camera is excellent. Now there is one application where this camera falls short in terms of audio, and I'm going to mention that at the end of this video, and it's mainly for cyclists. I also love the fact that you can put an external microphone on this really easily with this adapter. So this is the microphone that I use. This is a little Etutige microphone. I think it's the ETM001. But this little adapter allows you to just plug it right into the USB-C port. So all you really have to do is take off this cover. So if I can just pop that off, and then I can put this little mic adapter in, and I'm telling you, this works so well. Now, honestly, you don't really need it. It's just if you want to get like the best audio quality, you can use a little microphone like this, or you can use an external microphone like the one that I'm using now. So I'm using a Rode Wireless Go. I can use this cage, which I'll show this here in a minute, and I can put the Wireless Go, and I can have a really, really good option for an external microphone where I get really far away from the camera. So I'm going to put this on and show you what it looks like. So there is the external microphone adapter, and I just plug this thing in. Now, obviously, you can't use this underwater or in the rain because you lose your waterproofing. Now, what I also really like about it is you get an audio signal at the top, an audio level, I should say. So you can see your audio levels right there, and it works great for like the Rode Wireless Go that I mentioned. Now, to use the Rode Wireless Go, you can put it in this cage. And this is a really high quality cage that Insta360 sells, and all you have to do is open up that door, slide the camera in, and you get basically the ability to put a microphone in the cold shoe. So you've got cold shoes there on the top, you've got cold shoes on the side as well, so you can do the camera vertical or horizontal. Really great. Like it just opens up a lot of possibilities for this camera. Now, before I go into the video quality, let me just do a couple audio samples as I'm out on the mountain bike. Okay, so now I'm using the built-in microphone with the stock foam windscreen that goes over it. So no foam windscreen, no external mic, just got it on wind reduction and just cruising around at a cross-country pace. So here's a downhill where I'll reach 25 miles an hour using the built-in microphone with the foam windscreen. We're at 25 miles an hour right now. It's probably the limit for this. Anything above this, I'd use the foam windscreen or the external microphone with a wind cover. Okay, so now I'm using the Etutige microphone. I like this option because I can just put on that little windscreen. Going down a hill here, fairly bumpy. See how the stabilization is on this hardtail, but yeah, I do like this option. So audio is one thing that makes this camera excellent for vlogging and any kind of use. The other thing that makes it great for vlogging is the flip-up screen. Now, you probably already know about this. This flip-up screen is great because you get a much larger screen than the little one at the front. Now, I will say there are a few times where I don't want to flip up the screen, but I want to have the camera in front of me. It would be nice if this screen was also a video preview. It is just information. And it's nice because the information is really big. It's not like you're squinting to see it. So that's nice. But there are a few times when I just want to pull the camera out and do like a little vlog or something like that. Now, because the field of view is so wide, I know pretty much how to frame this. So it's not that big of a deal, but it'd be nice to have the option. Now let's talk about the video quality. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I did not like the low light performance of my GoPro. In fact, if I had a black shirt on, even if I was outside, there was a lot of static noise, as we say in the video world, in the GoPro footage. Not so on this one. The video quality is superb on this. I'll talk about stabilization coming up here in a second, but I really like the filters. So you've got different kind of filters you can use. I typically use Vivid. It's also got this Leica Natural, which has a pretty cool look. And you're looking at some video right now of Leica Natural. Like I said, I typically use Vivid. You also have the option to do a log profile and a flat color picture profile, which is one of the filters. It's flat. But you can turn on the iLog and shoot log. I don't do that. The main ones that I use is Vivid, Standard, and also the Leica Natural. The stabilization on this is excellent. The GoPro is just a tad better if I'm on my hardtail and I'm going downhill over roots. I did get some jitters with this camera that I did not get with the GoPro. Everywhere else, on a full suspension bike, if I have the camera chest mounted, chin mounted, I usually do chest or bar mount. I'm not going to show all of the modes that I use because the main ones that I use are the standard video mode, the pure video mode, which is their night mode, and then photos. So you can shoot 50 megapixel photos with this. And I really like using this for a camera when I'm on the water. I don't want to take my phone out. Now I keep my phone in like a dry bag and it's waterproof, but if I were to drop my phone in the water, I would lose it. This, I can use one of those selfie sticks that float. I have a GoPro one that's a handle and it floats. So I like shooting pictures with this. You can shoot, I think it's 12, or you can change the setting to 50. 50 just takes about a second once you push the button to record, but super high quality photos that look great. I will mention that this camera does HDR. I don't typically use it. I like the vivid color picture profile. The one thing that I did not like about the DJI Action 5 is you could not turn off HDR, which drove me crazy. I just don't like the look of it. I like using the regular one, so I love the fact that you don't have to use HDR. And I will mention that on the GoPro, HDR, the stabilization was not that good when I used HDR. So I just have not been in the habit of using HDR. I like the video that comes out of this camera with the standard or the vivid picture profile. I'll mention a few really nice features about this camera that I did not have on some of the other ones. And one is that you can cancel recording. So if I were to start the recording and I did not want to use that clip, so you can see, by the way, on the front, the little light is blinking to let you know that you're recording. If I just want to hold the record button down, it'll cancel it, and then it'll ask me if I want to cancel the recording. So that way I delete that clip so I don't have to mess with it when I go back to edit the videos. The other thing that I like about this is the fact that I can plug a USB-C cable into this camera directly and plug it right into my Mac. And you do that on the side here, same as the charge port right there. And that way I can get the photos off without having to take the SD card out. On my Mac, I could not do that with the GoPro. I had to take the SD card out. I could do it with the DJI. I could hook the cable up, but that's a feature that I really like. And when you hook the cable up, it'll ask you what kind of mode you want to do. And you just select the top left, which is to use it as a USB drive. You can also use it as a webcam. Now this is an 8K camera. I use 4K because I don't want to mess with 8K files, but if you wanted to shoot 8K, you can do it on this camera and it looks great. Now the nice thing about the 8K sensor is if you're using it in the 4K mode, you can punch in. So you can tap the 1x and it'll change it to 2x, and that way you crop in quite a bit and you still have a really good image. Now I'm going to do a quick sample so you can see. You can look in the YouTube video here and see if there's any loss of quality. The only time I noticed a loss of quality if I punched in 2x is if I were indoors. If I were outdoors, the quality is great, and you get less of the kind of warping effect around the edges when you do that. So it's just a really nice option to have. And I'll say I really enjoyed using this camera for kayaking. I didn't have to worry about it getting wet. I was able to put it underwater and get some really cool video, and then of course take it out and shoot some pictures. So it does really well. I can't remember the exact rating. I'll put it on the screen as far as how deep you can take this underwater, but for snorkeling and really shallow scuba diving, it does fine. Of course, there's underwater housings that you can use for deep diving, but as just a vlog family type camera that you put underwater, it's great. There are two things that I'd love to see improved on this camera. One is when I push the quick capture button, so I have the camera off and I use quick capture, so I just hit record. It takes about 5 to 7 seconds before it starts recording the video, and it's about, I'd say, 2 to 3 seconds slower than the GoPro or the DJI. The DJI was the fastest, quickly followed by the GoPro. So I would love to see that improve, because there are times when I'm mountain biking, when I'm coming up on something, I'm like, I want to get this, and I hit the record button, and if it comes up within the next 5 seconds, I can miss the shot. So I would love to see that improved. The other thing about this camera is if you want to bar mount this, so because you use a magnetic mount, which is really nice for taking the camera on and off. So like if I have it on my chest and I want to just take the camera off and get some video like this, I can do it and put it back on the chest and continue riding. It's great. But there is a little bit, a tiny, you don't even notice it when you're just using the camera on a selfie stick. There's a little bit of play in that. I mean, I can't even like budge it, but it's just enough play to cause the audio in the video to be really bad if it's on a handlebar. Now, if it's on a chin, chest, selfie stick, doesn't matter. It's fine, totally fine. But on a handlebar, gravel bike or mountain bike, unless it's just incredibly smooth, you will get a rattling noise in the video, which makes the audio pretty much useless. Now, I remedy that by using this little microphone, this little DJI microphone that I can just put on my chest. It's external. Now, you can pair this, by the way, to this camera, but the audio quality is not as good. So since this is a DJI microphone, when you pair it to the Action 5, it's a better audio quality. But you can pair this, it can be Bluetooth, but the problem is the quick capture doesn't really work well. So when I have this on the handlebar, I would just use the external microphone and sync up the audio in DaVinci Resolve. So it worked great. And you actually get better audio than if you had it on the handlebar. Like, for example, the GoPro, my Hero 12 does not have a magnetic mount, and it does not move around. But even still, like with a GoPro, if I was doing a lot of talking, I would have this on my shirt, on my jersey, and get really good audio. But if you just want to have like the camera on the handlebar and just film a ride and, you know, listen to the sounds of the Peloton or the trail, you can't do it with this camera. That's not going to matter to some of you out there, or maybe a lot of you out there. But for me, it does matter. Because there are times, like if I'm in a mountain bike race and I just want to put the camera on the handlebar and just get a bunch of shots and not have to worry about an external microphone, I just can't do it. So I would love to see that fixed. Now, I did not try that with a DJI Action 5 when I had it. I returned that camera because there's a few features that I didn't like. But if you have a DJI, let me know if you mount it on the handlebar, do you get a rattling noise in the video? And by the way, here's a quick sample so you see what I mean. So that is my fairly comprehensive review of the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Really enjoy this camera. Best vlog camera out there. Does great as an action camera as long as you don't need to mount it on bike handlebars on rough surfaces and get audio straight out of the camera. If you have any questions or comments, drop those below. I will put an affiliate link down below in the description in case you're interested in this. And if you've used this camera, let us know your thoughts. Are there any features that I did not mention in this video that you use? Thanks for watching.